Welcome to another edition of the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. I'm John Schmeelk, joined by Daniel Jeremiah, the lead draft analyst for NFL Network. You can, of course, check out all of the NFL Network's coverage of the Combine throughout the week and the weekend NFL Plus as well. Go check it out. DJ, you've been doing this, 4 hours today, these media hits? How you doing, man?
Yeah, it's a lot of media hits, but it's fun. It's like good batting practice here to get used to everything.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're getting an idea of kind of what some of these team needs are, right? So why don't we start then with the Giants? First, let's start overall. When I looked at this, I feel like there are more true blue-chip top 10 worthy picks in this draft than maybe the last 2 or 3 drafts put together.
Yeah, it's really top-heavy. So, in other words, I mean, I feel great about that group, and it probably goes 10 to 12, 13 in there. I think we do have some drop-off. I think a lot of that's a longer discussion in terms of NIL and the lack of juniors that came into the draft, and that's going to show up in rounds 4 through 7. But especially at the top of this draft, man, I've got 3 receivers in the top 5 players in the draft. You start there. I mean, that's an impressive group.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick. I'm with you. I have Harrison, then I have Neighbors just below, and then I have Odunze just below that. Raw grade-wise, Odunze versus Bowers. How do you have those guys stacked, and how close are they for you?
Yeah, the way I have it Marvin. And I gave Odunze the same grade I gave Marvin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm an Odunze guy. So I love Odunze. And then I have right below that, Neighbors and Bowers have the same grade from me. So they're all, and it's a flavor thing. It's whatever you're looking for. Neighbors is going to be the run after catch, this super, super dynamic, explosive. And then with Odunze, you get, the catch radius, the contested catches. I think people are going to be surprised how fast he runs too, by the way. He can roll. He's one of those guys who's got such body control and awareness that he's going to be faster than you. That's how fast he's going to be.
Absolutely. And then you have Alt in the more of the Marvin Odunze category, or more of the Neighbors Bowers category?
In the Neighbors Bowers category. They have the exact same grade. So then it just comes down to, what are you looking for? What do you need? The fact that we have such a deep group of tackles, that'll be interesting to see how that all gets sorted out. You're either going to be on the end, you can be on the end of that top 3 receiver group, right, or you can be at the beginning of the tackle group.
How much do you take in consideration that you're probably going to find a better wide receiver than a tackle at the top of the second round if you're the Giants as you make that decision at 6, or do you push that inside and say, look, we just got to pick the guy that we think is going to be a superstar this high?
Yeah, look, you don't want to miss. So to me, it's who you feel confident in. I agree with you. If you have the same grade on somebody, you probably should lean towards the tackle, just because your receiver options later on in the draft are going to far exceed your tackle options. So if that's close, I just don't advocate if you have, like on a scale, if I have Odunze at a 69 and I have Alt at a 67, right, I would take Odunze just because he's a different caliber player for me.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
No, I'm with you on that. Quarterbacks, you guys on Move the Sticks podcast, check that out too, by the way. Talk a lot about team building, right? Mm-hmm. Tractor versus trailer for quarterback. You're always trying to find that quarterback that can get you where you want to go. And you watched the last 8 teams that were alive last year. Yeah. Except for Baker Mayfield, who had a really good year. They're all the superhero-style quarterbacks that can do crazy stuff, right? So while you're always hunting for a quarterback, you're not just hunting for a quarterback. You're hunting for the quarterback, right? Which I think is 2 different things. I think we all believe the top 3 guys in this draft have the talent and skill to be the quarterback and be a tractor. Mm-hmm. The next 3, are they all trailers in your opinion, or do you think they have the raw talent to be tractors, teams, the guys that can put teams on their backs and bring them where they want to go?
I would say it this way. I think initially those next 3 are going to 100% be trailers. They're going to be dependent on who's around them and what's around them, the situation that they have for them to be successful, which to a degree every quarterback is obviously it's going to be dependent on where you go. But I would say the chances for those guys, because of how they can play the game shoulders up, will exceed their physical abilities. Mm-hmm. That you can be a tractor as a pocket quarterback. But in order to be that, you have to have had enough experience to acquire the knowledge to be able to have the answers to the test. So, in other words, like that's what made Tom Brady so incredible, was that he was able to lengthen his career. So while he still had the knowledge, now he built up all the knowledge base and still had the physical skills to go on an unbelievable run. That's what's really freaky about Mahomes is just now starting to get the knowledge base to go along with the elite physical skills. So, I think they can. I think they can eventually grow into that, but that's going to be years down the line.
And C.J. Stroud in his first year, too, the way he
that's
processed
an
as a
anomaly.
rookie.
Yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's freaky.
And, that kind of brings me back to just grading these quarterbacks, right? It's so hard. You saw the talent of C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, but within that offense, no one could have believed that the processing level could have been where it is when he came into the league. I mean, it was impossible to see. So as you've learned how to do this, what are the most important things for a quarterback you're looking for as you try to figure out who is going to be the guy?
Processing's hard to figure out. That's hard to get a handle on. I've come to the point where I kind of just I start with the physical traits is, kind of that gets you into the conversation. You have to have at least the bare minimum physical traits to join in the discussion. So that's where I always start every evaluation. So when you've got that, you're going to try and see as much as you can from a processing standpoint, which is very difficult. And then you're going to rely on talking to people around these guys and talking to these guys if you can. What kind of worker is he? How does he prepare? I like getting a chance to talk to guys and say, hey, show me your notebook. Like when you're watching tape, like what are you writing down? What are you paying attention to? Show me how, what your plan was during the week. That's the kind of stuff, the information finding. Because everybody can say, it's all the tape. Well, yeah, but at that position, you can't get everything off the tape. You've got to fill in the holes with all this other stuff.
Absolutely.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Hey, Giant fans, score a taste touchdown with Hellmann's, the official mayonnaise of the New York Football Giants. I've kind of learned how to do the scouting things from like Carl Banks, David Deal, Sean O'Hara. They've kind of taught me how to watch tape.
Oh, don't listen to Sean. Come on.
Movie stuff with Sean, not football stuff.
There you go. Just pop culture references. That's his wheelhouse.
100%. When I see something on tape, Daniel, how many times do you have to see a player do something to believe that they can do it long-term and do it consistently?
Well, I do believe that if you can do it once, you can do it. Like that to me is a great sign. And then it just comes to a matter of how much comfort level you're going to have. The more they do it, it makes it a little easier to sleep
Obviously.
at night. But, and a lot of that is directly related to where you go in the draft. You're going to get guys on day 3 that you've seen once, twice, do something, and you're hoping you can get that out of him and you can develop him and that can become the norm. Obviously, you're taking a guy in the first round. You're hoping you're seeing a lot more of it with regularity when it comes to those things. But I do think, I get nervous about a player when I've never seen you do it.
Of course.
I'm asking you to do something you've never showed me before. That's a problem. That's when you get in trouble. I'll be willing to take a gamble and take a risk on somebody and say, hey, I watched this game and I saw him do this to this guy. I know he can do it. A lot of times we talk about edge rusher. Does he have power? I'm like, well, I saw it. I saw him in this game, widen out, speed to power, and beat the tackle. Now, I wish he did more of it, but I know he's got it in his body. So now we got to figure out how to get it out of him on a more regular basis.
No question about it. I have access to Ultimate. That's a PFF tool for people that don't know.
The best.
So you can sort, right? How important is it, do you think now, or is it based on position, to watch full games? Or for corners, can you just watch all their targets? For wide receivers, can you just watch all their targets? Like, can you sort, I'm going to watch all their good plays, all their bad plays? Have you changed the way you scout players now that we have all these tools and the sorting ability?
1,000%. And to me, it's just about efficiency. If you've got a large number of players to watch, that's you have to find out what's the most valuable use of my time.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to do too. It's hard.
That's why I've done receivers for years. I've done targets. So I watch all their targets, and then I might flip on one game to just see them block. Just show me you want to.
Just one game on that stuff.
Because I don't need you. I can see enough in one game to watch you block. With edge rushers now, instead of maybe watching 4 games on an edge rusher, I might watch 2 full games, all of his sacks and pressures, and I can see his physical tool set of what he's working with. So it's just ways to be more efficient. Corners, I tend to, just because the way the game is now in the league, I tend to watch more full games with corners.
You want to see him tackle, right?
You got to tackle. You're just being brought in. You can't avoid that anymore. There's too many condensed formations. They're going to bring you into the run fit, and you're going to have to tackle. So that position, it takes a little bit longer. Safeties, this is the second year in a row now. Safeties, I'll watch a lot of the key plays on them, on that function. You can go through and sort it. It's a cut up. It's not, look, if I had the time, I'd prefer probably go watch 5 games on a safety to get a feel for him. Just don't have that time to do that. So there's ways technology's made this a lot more efficient.
Safeties and linebackers are the tough ones. You kind of have to get them in context.
They blend
it's really
into
hard.
the scenery. Yeah.
Absolutely. Daniel, this was great,
Good
man.
to see you.
Real quick, Giants at 6. Do you think just best wide receiver playmaker available? Is that what you're thinking?
I'm going to go that direction. I'm hopeful for the Giants that they get a chance to get one of those 3 stud receivers, and then we'll see where they go from there.
And if you want a quarterback, you have to move up for one, right?
I think so. They're going to go 1, 2, 3. I'll be surprised if they don't.
I'm with you 100%. Good stuff, Daniel.
Good to see you.
And good luck the rest of the day.
All right, tell Sean. No, don't tell Sean anything.
Giants Huddle podcast brought to you by Citizens. We'll see you next time, everybody.